Hey, everyone. Hello, good afternoon, good evening, bienvenue, hi, good day, what's up? It's the I'll Try That podcast once again. I hope I've covered your vernacular for saying hi and hello and welcome. Today, it is a case of our hot topic as usual, pursuit of hoppiness. First off, we'll do the hot topic in a minute, but we're going to do the pursuit of hoppiness, heading down under. Particularly to Byron Bay, because we are tasting, sampling, reviewing, considering Stone and Wood Pacific Ale. And joining me this week are the inimitable Richard Drabwell.
Hello.
And the effervescent Joe Druitt.
Oh, I think I got the right end of the stick, that one. Thank you.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
I think inimitable is better.
No, I just think it's more because I can't pronounce the word. So I can say Evanescence. No, I can't, actually. But that's a band.
I suppose it's better that I did like words like that instead of, rating you both out of 10 and giving one of you like higher.
I would also like to know my rating now.
I'm not going to tell you what it's out of, but you get a solid 4, mate. Right, good. Slight digression, unplanned, we promise, out of the way. Drabbers, I choose you to tell us about the hot topic.
So,
please,
this week, we're going to be looking at some, I would say, new technology that has kind of recently come, I suppose, a bit more publicly and well-known, and more people are starting to use it and everything like that.
Is this the cotton gin?
The what?
The cotton gin.
Watch out for those sabots.
I'm being facetious.
No, so I'm talking about, have you guys heard of ChatGPT?
This is AI is taking over the world. Yeah. So
yeah.
Scared. He said. Watch out, everyone. That's all I've been hearing in the wake of these fantastic AI tools. Yes.
So I researched. So I've been doing a bit of reading into the AI tools, and I wasn't ever scared until a recent bit of information that I read that a group of scientists set this ChatGPT, so the artificial intelligence, to program a load of code, and then the artificial intelligence had to access a website that had one of those "Are you a robot?" things on there. So that it realised it couldn't do that, so it hired. Have you guys heard of the app TaskRabbit?
Yeah, people where you can hire real people to do things.
Yeah, where you can hire real people to do things. The AI went onto TaskRabbit, hired somebody on TaskRabbit to click on "I am not a robot," so then it could access the website to then continue editing the code.
That's amazing.
So hang on, are you telling me the robot, the ChatGPT realised it was being asked if it was a robot, and it was not capable of saying? Is it really not? Are they not able to go? They're not able to tell fibs.
Was it clicking a button?
Yeah,
it's basically
button. It just can't click
a button. Yeah, so it couldn't, because you have to click a button for it, and that's the motion that you do. But of course, ChatGPT couldn't do that, so it hired somebody to do it, which is, I find, absolutely mad. More to the point, somebody did that. So there's somebody out there who is aligned with the bloody robots. Does
the person who did the clicking for it, I wonder how much he got paid? Because that's like the easiest money in the world.
Yeah, but how much would you? Yeah, if someone came to me and say, "Oh, can you click this button for like £2.50? I'd probably be like, "All right, yeah, I'll take a second to do that."
Sure thing. You got any more buttons you need clicking?
It's quite a good job. Any more websites you need access to? Yeah,
I like that. But scrap all that. That just so ChatGPT. You can ask it questions, and it will basically come up with creative answers. Loads of students are using it to write essays for them. It's becoming a real problem in schools and everything like that. But
can I tell you before you jump into the actual hot topic, because I know where you're, which is brilliant. One thing to add to that is that there was a guy from Stanford who created the anti-ChatGPT AI, which was able to, which he basically gave to a load of professors to like run everyone's essays through. And if there was enough, like, there's basically patterns to what ChatGPT can do. And once it picked up that it was like ChatGPT who'd written this like thesis, then obviously they could then go and fail the students. So basically, it's the world's like worst teacher's grasp, basically, has created an anti-chat GPT. I mean, it's good. You can't be writing a thesis, using an AI tool, but at the same time, it's quite interesting, isn't it?
Well, yeah, he clearly brings an apple to the teacher's desk every day and got beaten up.
He's an apple polisher.
He's an apple polisher, 100%. So let's bring this all back round to beer. So basically, breweries are now asking ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, to design beers for them. So they're giving them what they want, and then ChatGPT is now giving them the ingredients for them to start creating beer.
Brilliant. So what have they come up with?
Give me 1 minute. So
that shows to me a lack of imagination, doesn't it? I mean, because they could also
I heard of a really interesting concept, because we're having this conversation a lot in the marketing world, because obviously this impacts massively. If you want to write like a copy, if you want to write an article about, you never have to write an article anymore. You give it prompts and it will write a very, very good, better than most articles that are written by some, like the interns that end up having to write these articles for most web pages nowadays.
Yes.
Right. So where we were basically getting to was saying, how do we use a chat GPT AI? Because basically what it does, it gives you all of the answers that are very like in front of your face. Like, you should just be able to get them. Right. So when we're using it for as like a thought starters, you give all the keywords, all the things, and basically at the start of like a creative session, you give ChatGPT this kind of like all the thought starters, all the keywords. It pumps out all the very obvious answers, and then that you can discount them as things that you don't need to do. So that for us is how we use it in like a very kind of like actual practical setting with our clients, is to say, well, look, we've put all these, this is what you asked us to do. We plugged all this into ChatGPT. This is what it came out with. So we didn't go in it. So we just knew to just discount all of that, because that's just so obvious that AI can figure it out, so let's go for something that's different, and let's do it this way.
So what I liked about this, so Michigan's Atwater Brewery, so it's one of Detroit's largest breweries, has rolled out an artificial intelligence IPA, 6.9 ABV, offering that the brewer says it was designed by robots. So all they did was we asked an AI to create an IPA recipe for us, and it was able to create a recipe to the scale of our brewing system. And so that's what they put in how much they could brew and what they wanted to brew. And basically the AI gave them the recipe to create their artificial intelligence IPA, which I think is
AIPA.
Yeah,
that's a song.
You heard it here first. AIPA.
IPA.
And I'm just looking at a few other ones as well. And that their beers are the beer blends from Atwater, and it's been reviewed at 3.73 stars on Untapped, which is not bad for a beer that was created by robots.
Someone doesn't have any taste palate, it's not trying the beer, it's just going, here's mathematically or however their machine learning is just blah, 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 boom, there's a beer. That's pretty impressive, to be fair. How about your chili beer? How did that get on with the, its rating on Untapped?
3.72, I heard.
It was 15. They had to add more stars for the chili beer.
This is what I said about rating you as a 4, mate.
Yeah. But it's an interesting concept, and it'll be interesting to see where it actually goes, because I reckon more and more breweries are going to follow along with it. And I'm assuming as anything with AI, it learns. So in theory, the beer should only get better if it's got access to all of that information from all of the best beers in the world.
But I'm a bit unclear how the AI is going to make the beer better. Because obviously it's not tasting the beer, so it doesn't know. Obviously it can, like, we already have a lot of manufacturing and computer systems in the brewing process. Modern breweries can, everything is controlled by computers nowadays anyway. and that's obviously creating a huge amount of data, which is getting sifted through and getting blah, blah. So how exactly do we think that AI is actually going to make beer better? Obviously, outside of the gimmicky stuff, which we're all talking about AI at the moment in this form of like, it can write you a story, it can write you a beer recipe. Well, that just makes sense because it's pulling off information that's on the internet, that's available on data that you've given it. But how is it going to make things different?
But surely, if it's the way that it's learning, it is going to be able to start picking out the best bits from all breweries, and then it's going to be a continual process. I'm not saying it's going to happen straight away, but it's going to start because it's ever learning. AI, like artificial intelligence.
And you got to feed back to it at some point, though, to be like, hey, ChatGPT, that last beer recipe you put together was rubbish. And then it's going to go, blimey, I have to get my thinking cap on for the next one.
I do think there's obviously a place for it in a lot of worlds. I do think there is it's not going to completely rule out humans because naturally it's catering to humans and what it does. What it will do is just level of automation, which we don't have to deal with. Which we are lazy beasts when it comes to humans. We don't want to do the repetitive. We don't want to do the mundane. We don't want to do the same thing day in, day out. So let's give it to a computer to do it when I just program it to tell it what to do. And then I will do the fun stuff, which is like, talking about it or, making a video that's waving my hands in the air, on TikTok. That's what humans like to do. Although saying that, have you guys been following, I know we're going all down an AI slant now, but have you guys been following like Midjourney, who are that's the AI that makes images, one of the very big, like very, very good image like creation AIs?
Was this the thing about the Pope?
The Pope with the bomber jacket. It's amazing, isn't it? And that's Midjourney.
Totally bought it.
That was amazing.
Yeah. And it's all the ones of Trump being arrested, wasn't it, before everything going in? And they had all these ones of him fighting all of the cops and all this sort of stuff. And everything.
That's Midjourney as well. Yeah. And then there's the videos with the voice, this actual voice recognition of Trump, Obama, and Joe Biden playing video games together. Have you seen some of those?
Oh, I've seen
that. That's well worth listening to because it's just ridiculous. But yeah, that's all AI. It's all fake. It's not real. It's all prompts created but it's video. It's. So I do agree that it's a scary world and like people not knowing what's real, what's not. But at the same time, it's like, well, if you're going into looking at anything that you view as, is this actually real? That's a good thing, right? Because the problem we've been over the last 5 years is that everyone just assumes what they see on the internet is real, and then they start getting angry and reacting to it and start shouting about it and I saw this thing and I didn't like it. Whereas actually, if you go, no, that's probably wrong. That's not real. That's probably created by an AI. Go and find that out. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, well then, I think that's just a better sense check. I don't know.
Combine the two. Elon Musk and his Twitter thing says basically, you can prove that you're real by giving me $7. Now we're going to get an AI. We're going to go and get someone to give him $7, and then the AI is going to. This is how the world is going to end. He's going to. ChatGPT is going to convince people he's actually a reporter at the scene of whatever's happening that isn't even happening, and oh god, hilarity will ensue. Coming this summer.
Imagine if you turned up to an event and you'd been invited by an AI bot. And you're like, I've got a job for AI, and everyone's like, what are you doing here? They're like, Mr. ChatGPT told me to arrive at 9 o'clock.
There's a computer in the background sniggering.
Loser.
I did that just for lols.
LOLOLOLO.
Awkward. That's the thing on. I know that's the South Park thing, isn't it? Good. We digressed on that enough.
That's a good content on AI. Let's jump into Stone and Wood, shall we?
Yes, smoothly done. So I'll be honest, this has been sat in the cupboard for a long, long time. I think
cupboard,
Simo and I were planning to do this for shed actually.
Shed.
Do you know what? No, it's been moved. It's been moved. It was in the shed when it was cold enough to. It hasn't been refrigerated the whole time. It has been refrigerated this afternoon. I was fairly convinced it was out past its best.
How long in the shed, may I ask, has this beer been?
I can't remember. It has moved. So it was like in a cupboard in the house before, and then I think in the winter time it was in the shed.
Got it.
So it's been fluctuating in temperature.
It doesn't taste wrong.
Quite. It doesn't.
It has the temperature has fluctuated. It's true. I confess. You've got me bang to rights.
Are you
Tastes
sure?
alright,
I was going to say, are you sure it's the original taste though? Now
it's improved, I'd say. Like,
it's
that sounds like a damn
Guys,
indictment.
Stone and Wood, listen in. This is how you're going to improve
Yeah.
your beers.
Check this out. No, I might again, and it's often that thing I keep saying it about, like what you've had before and what you're tasting it in comparison to something else that makes it different. I'm pretty sure when I first had one of these more than a year ago, and I just didn't taste of anything. But no, it's quite nice. So this is an Australian beer from Byron Bay. And I think it was that Simo and I were getting it to go and do it as an episode. And alas, the time has come to actually drink it and give it a go. And this is a Pacific ale, which, as far as I'm aware, is not like a beer category that's particularly caught on anywhere else. But it is a very nice, eminently drinkable beer. And that I feel like a little bit glad that I have had another go at this and found myself to enjoy it a little bit more, because I understand it is a really popular beer, particularly down under, but also here, and that's why again they do a few beers, and this is the popular one that gets exported and distributed elsewhere. Although I'll be honest, Majestic Wines stock this. I haven't run into it at any other point. No one else goes to me, oh mate, have you tried a Stone and Wood? But there you go. That's how these things start. Again, it hasn't kicked off in the last year or so, but for me, the taste seems to have improved. I didn't enjoy it that much last time, but it's pretty drinkable, pretty tame.
You were talking about Pacific Pale Ale. I have heard of Pacific Pale Ale because Thornbridge do quite a good Pacific Pale Ale. It's called the Valerio, and it's a 5%. I've had that before. It was pretty tasty.
I've not tried that.
But yeah, it's a bit of an
Thornbridge
unusual one. It's quite popular in obviously in Australasia. So I was looking at Stone and Woods because obviously based in Byron Bay, which is near Sydney, established in 2008, which I thought was quite funny. Just because obviously it's like they've actually been around for quite a while. If you think of 2008 as a time, and it goes to show because they've won the champion of the. They were awarded, the champion large Australian brewery at the 2016 Australian International Beer Awards, and its Pacific Ale, which is the one you're having, won the silver medal at the World Beer Cup in the English style summer ale category. So that's how apparently we're classifying Pacific Ale as an English style summer ale.
I was going to say that actually speaks. When I was looking through the selection of the beers that they had, and I was looking at their design and their artwork on the cans and everything like that, and it did feel a little bit British when looking at all of their designs and all this sort of stuff. It didn't scream Australian to me. Kind of all the artwork and stuff they've got on there, it did scream a little bit more British.
What were you hoping for? Like kangaroos on it or something?
Pretty much, koalas? Yeah. Just some didgeridoos. Somebody with a mullet. And
Colour scheme is green and gold, though, by the looks of things.
Yeah.
I'd say it's pretty Australian. If once you know it's from Australia, like okay, I could kind of see.
You reckon?
From Australia. Yeah.
No, I don't know. Anyway. Are you looking at their green coat lager, the Stone and Wood crisp?
Typeface is British. There you go.
So I was quite interested by Stone and Wood. Obviously, we know they're from like 2008, and I would probably class them as an Australian craft brewer. And obviously, they've got large enough now to be winning awards for being a large Australian brewery. Who do we reckon owns Stone and Wood?
Simo.
Yes, that's why he moved to Australia. Yeah. We have talked about them before on this podcast.
UK based.
Oh, no, okay, I'll give you a hint. They are not UK based.
Oh, okay. Because basically I just looked at my bottle and I saw an address, imported and distributed by blah, blah, blah.
Well, imported and distributed. There you go. It's not.
Yeah, I think that's what's got me. I saw Kent and I was like Shepherd Neame. So
No, I've got
but
no idea. That will be. It might be a Shepherd Neame that's like importing them into the UK and like distributing them around, as it says. But no, we're talking international. Let's start. Okay, so there's two companies, right? If I give you the first one, you might get the second one. The first one is an Australian company. Yeah, well, one of them's quite big, but it's not one of the big four. Okay,
Vegemite.
Yes, it's Vegemite. Vegemite owns Stoner Woods. No, but it is a company in Australia who did actually do food as well. So Lion,
the Mick Dundee Corporation,
the Mick Dundee Corporation, the crocodiles. So it's Lion is the guys who own Stoner Wood directly, and they obviously make a big. They were kind of like span out of the Carlton, Australian breweries, whatever. But as we talked about, I think it might have even been our Thornbridge episode. We talked about them, and Lion was purchased by another much bigger Asian company.
This does ring a bell.
Oh
yeah.
Oh God, why have I blanked on them?
Oh, it's not the Moon people, is it?
No, that's China. No, we're talking. I think we're in
the Moon people. Sounds
the Moomans.
The aliens.
I know who you're talking about. You're talking about like Cold Mountain Moon. No, it's not them.
We are the Moon Men. No, I don't know.
No, you have to tell us.
It is Kirin.
Kirin.
Yeah, I remember Kirin.
There we go. So they're the parent company. Kirin Ichiban. So yes, the Japanese brewery, the largest Japanese brewery outside of oh my god, Japanese brewery. Who's the other one? Sapporo and Asahi. Thank you.
Asahi.
That was it. Asahi.
You guys were helpful.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah,
you're welcome. Glad we.
We know beer.
Good.
Anyway,
well,
there you go. Done. Okay, so when we've done Australian beers before in the past, we've done the classics of the VM, the VB. Sorry, VB. Thank you. They are. I would say that's what. When you were saying, Drabbers, that they don't feel Australian, VB very much is Australia, right?
Yeah.
And how they are and look and feel. Yeah. Okay. So I get where you're coming from now. But yeah, Stoner Wood craft brewer, I think is probably where I'd put it down to a mass Australian craft brewer. And you're enjoying the added flavour you've given that personal touch to those beers that you've got there, Barbara.
Well, it is still quite like, again, I think that is supposed to be refreshing and fruity. 4.5%. And it's that kind of like, it's not like a real fizz. Like, I wouldn't say that it isn't heavily carbonated. It is almost like an ale sort of thing. But it's very nice. I kind of feel like I should be trying the other ones as well, but this is obviously, it's very sessionable, and you can totally it would suit a warmer climate very well. We actually, British summertime started today because we had 4 hours of actual sunlight rather than actual warm temperatures. But very nice.
I'd like to point out I am partially sunburnt today from spending all day outside.
Nice. You should have creamed up.
I've had a real day of it.
No, let you go. Keep going with it to elaborate on your day.
No, it's all right. It's been a long day.
One thing I'd note, sorry, about Stone and Wood, kind of pricey. And very expensive. I did have the slight heart attack because I saw that there was like, and to be fair, I was on their website and they've got the picture of. It is a crate that you're getting, but there was a picture of a 6-pack and it said £49. And I was like, no. But yeah, even for a crate, that is still bonkers, isn't it?
No, that's bonkers. That is absolutely bonkers. For us, dollary dues. This 24-pack, I've kept it up, of the Pacific Ale bottles, which is one you've got, is $81, which is madness.
Bloody hell. Yeah.
Like, that's just too much for beer. $81 for no, that's just mad money for beer.
That is crazy because that's £45. So $81 Australian dollars is £45, which is madness.
And like, this is the thing, I would probably have to spend some time in Australia, and actually this is maybe where we needed Simo's input on it, was just like, is this the only like crafty thing you can get in Australia? And that's why they've just got a monopoly on it, and they charge whatever they want.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Barbs. This is where I was kind of summing up is that, like, even though Stone and Wood have been around since 2008, which still puts them in the craft beer category, right? They've clearly done very well. They've grown to become a large brewer who have been bought out by an Australian conglomerate that's then also been bought out by a Japanese conglomerate. So they're also doing incredibly well. Now you can export them around the world. But what other Australian craft brewers are there? I know don't get me wrong, we have had Jax and Simo on, and Jack had done fantastic research with her family, who are big craft brewers, drinkers in Australia, enjoyers of craft brews, let's put it that way. And they had a whole long list of fantastic local craft brews and breweries that you can go to. So there is a thriving craft beer scene in Australia. But I guess what we're saying is, like, well, that level when they start getting exported. And then I went, well, to give Australia fair diligence, what is the UK's version of that outside of the traditional big beers? Well, obviously it's Brewdog, right? We claim Brewdog as like a UK export. You've got Camden Town, obviously, but now it's owned by AB InBev, which is probably close to what this Stone and Wood kind of relationship is. It's a much, much bigger organization, like corporate organization owning a craft thing. So that's probably the closest I can think of. Camden Town, Stone and Wood is probably the closest like parallel I could get in size.
Two interesting things I picked up when you were saying that. First off was that, fair play, but I suppose also the geography of Australia versus the geography of the UK is going to lend to the fact, like, we get flipping saturated, don't we, with breweries, because there's like 14,000 these days in the UK. So like there's so many nearby, and they ain't got travels as far to get one to you. So I mean, even it's going to be harder for in little small microbreweries, craft breweries, to get their stuff to other parts of Australia and become really popular, because there's also that just haven't got the population density, have they? So that's one thing. The other thing that made me laugh is then I realised, as you kept saying about, they were bought out by these guys and then bought out by Kirin. And so do we know how Stone and Wood started?
No, please tell.
Please tell me it's in a basement.
Well, three chaps whose names I will have to refresh myself on, who got into it because they all worked in the brewing industry before, and they wanted to get away from that, big brewing industry type of thing, and make a small, independent, unique beer. So then they did that, scene missing, and then bought out by Kirin.
They always have an exit plan. No one goes into a business and go, I really want to suck. I really don't want to do well. I really want to just do middle, like bottom out all the time and keep myself really small and never have a good time with money. Like they always end up getting bigger, get bigger, bigger, bigger. Oh, basically they just want to replace who they're with at the moment. Yeah, absolutely.
Do not worry, boys. My brewing operation is going to stay very small and limited to minimal to you two. Yeah, and it's all right.
I appreciate that, Drabs. It's a very personal touch you have with your brewery. So thank you very much for that.
That's okay.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm now going
mostly
hard
because
on these guys.
The government food and drink regulations won't allow you to subject anyone else to your beers. That's more of the point.
There's nothing wrong with the spicy beer.
It could be the Stone and Wood have not. Sorry, I feel like I want to go hard on these guys now. It could be they've not. It could be that they've not updated the website for a while. Who we are, established in Byron Bay, we're proudly local, brewing and bottling fresh, approachable beer.
But their beers, for the prices, their beer isn't approachable.
Well. The story of Stone and Wood began in 2008 with three friends, Brad, Ross and Jamie, that's what I forgot before, decided, after many years in the brewing industry and with a passion for good beer, they want to start their own thing. Inspired by the idea of the Village Brewery, that is, a brewery that brews quality beer while giving back to the wider community, Brad, Ross and Jamie founded Stone and Wood in a modest shed in Byron Bay's industrial estate and began following their vision of creating a conscious local business. And maybe in truth, I haven't looked into them enough to find out if they are giving back to the community. But bought out by Kirin and Village Brewery seem like mutually exclusive ideas to me. There we go.
Lovely.
That's my
last numbers. Anything else, Strauss, before I do numbers?
Nah, it's far away.
Okay, so Instagram, they've got a very impressive 80,000 followers. And on
True.
Twitter, they have 9,500 followers. So yeah, again, what to be expected, as we now know from these guys as being quite a big company. But also at the same time, I love that. I think the fact that they're getting this Australian craft beer around the world, which is better aged in a multitude of different places that Barber has.
Yeah, you don't do that unless it's quite a good quality product, right?
There you go.
So
I think they're doing well. Doing really well. They've got a lot of success, and I don't think we're not here to shoot down success. We're here to celebrate success, and Stone & Wood is a success craft brewer from Australia. There you go.
Yeah.
And that's all we have time for from this week's episode of the I'll Try That podcast. And so from me, Joe,
Rich, and Simo,
goodbye. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram,
Twitter, and watch us on YouTube.
Goodbye now. Always drink responsibly, and if you or anyone else needs some help, go to drinkaware.co.uk for more information.